Oh my gosh, New Brunswick, Canada. There you are. How is everybody? I'm coming on before, like, real quick at a weird different hour just so that I get a video in. Yes, Mew Mew's playing down there. I tried to get her to come up here. I'm like, what you doing? What you doing? She don't want to come up here. She's being silly. She's being a little bossy, mossy girl. A boss moss. Oh, from Bonnie, Scotland. Tallulah Bell. There you go. Tallulah. Hi, you guys. How is everybody? Um, hi, baby. Love you. I have been out and about in public today. That's where I've been, all over the place. Hi, you guys. Hi, Logan. How are you guys? Um, yeah, so my gosh. Anyway, somebody tell me how the trucker thing. I'm on early because I'm, of course, going out. Suddenly I'm this party animal. I'm kidding. I'm not a party animal. Anyway, I'm doing stuff. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, first, tell me how the Canadian convoy is. Ottawa is lit. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And also, I wanted to start this off. Some of you asked me some questions, weird questions, but I thought I would answer them. Not weird, different kinds of questions. So, yeah. And convoy is awesome. But I mean, I don't know. Trudeau's saying he's not going to back down, so he's not going to back down. Of course, we know this because his pink panties are like wrapped around his gut a little bit too tight, if you know what I'm saying. Uh, yeah, no coverage. Exactly. There is over 6,600,000 whatever trucks. 66 is that he's already run away. Yeah, well, his pink panties are strangling him. You know how that is when men trying to fit into their wife's underwear, you know? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, little Castro, little bitch. I remember when Jackie told me that, when I told you I went to visit my Aunt Betty. Anyway, Jackie's like, look at the pictures, Sloan, look. And I'm like, oh, come on. And then I started laughing. I was like, fuck, he looks like that, right? Anyway, yeah, what I wanted to know, I said, the Rebel News, try Rebel News. Yeah, him and his family have fled. I don't understand a lot, but energetically right now, just to let you know, I can feel a lot of, he's got COVID. Yeah. His panties are squishing. His undertrunks are squishing him. He wears panties though, just so we're very fucking clear, because he's a girl, right? You know what I mean. First birthday party. Yes, you can. Mercury's out of retrograde by 11:35 on Thursday night. So we have Mercury out of retrograde 11:35 Thursday night. We have Venus out of retrograde as of 3:30 a.m. this morning. So Venus is out of retrograde. So you will start pink ones at that. Well, you know he wears pink ones. Whatever. I'm not judging. I love the color pink. I'm just not going to wear panties that are pink anymore because I know that fucker wears them, right? So anyway, yeah, so you know what? Here's the thing. I know a lot about astrology, obviously. As I'm joking. I know a lot about astrology because I do it. Here's the one thing I do not do. I do whatever. Oh, I have my dinner time eyes on. I'm not wearing my dinner time outfit, but I'm wearing my dinner time makeup because I'm going to fly out the door when my door knocks. And then I'm going to go eat some dinner. That's what I'm going to do. With astrology, I want you guys to understand it's a tool to guide you. There is no way in hell that I'm not going to live my life because something in astrology says I can't live my life. Okay. So meaning in a Mercury retrograde, if I want to buy a computer, I'll do it. I'll buy a car. I have. If I want to, start a business, do whatever, I'm going to do that. All right. No, you're not blocked. What are you blocked from, Barbara Jean? Why would you be blocked? Fuck no. I would never block you. I'm wearing your beautiful bracelets. Are you kidding me? No, look. I've got the obsidian and the turquoise on. Look at this. Block you? Hell no, girl. I just saw your thing. Am I blocked? No. Anyway, when it comes to astrology, I am not going to not do something if I'm already planning on doing it. The way that I work it with astrology is if I'm not supposed to do it, then something will stop me from doing it. But like, let's say, I've planned something during Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Pluto return, whatever. And I've planned it. I'm going to go through with it because I'm living my life. So I'm not one of those weirdos, because you hear a lot of people. But what I will say to you is if you can avoid like doing certain things on a Mercury retrograde, great. But if you already have them scheduled, then like a birthday party, that doesn't mean anything. It means Mercury retrograde birthday party would mean that some kids might show up, some might not show up, whatever. But that would be typical of any birthday party. So I literally still live my life, period. I will not let anything stand in my way. Nothing. If I want to go do it, and like I did, I literally did. I got a tattoo during Venus retrograde and cut my hair weird and tried a different kind of bleach. So now I understand, you know, whatever, but it's what I wanted to do. So I did it, right? So there you go. Kanye has been talking about Pluto, of course. Of course he has, because he has. Kanye, stop. Kanye, dressing up your girlfriend with the eye makeup. Just stop. Like, stop right now, right? Stop. Kanye, crazy ass Gemini. I'm going to have to do a video on him. He's so mind controlled. He's in and out of mind control. But what I know, right? Like, he just needs to stop. Stop with the makeup. What the fuck is he doing? I'll always hug a trucker. Why not? I love stopping at truck stops. You know why? When I'm driving in the middle of the night to go hiking somewhere and you come up on a truck stop and it's pitch black and all the truck stops, I won't go in their bathroom, but I'm always happy to pull my car over and pee outside my car there because I know somebody will come to my rescue in case something happens. I'm not going in the bathroom though. I'm never going to go in the bathroom, but I'll pee in the parking lot. Not that any of you asked that. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, lot lizards. Yeah, well, I'm not going to fuck the lot lizards. I'm, you know, I mean, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Yeah. Well, the Kardashians are interesting. I wanted to talk about that. That was one of the questions. With people like Michael Jackson, it just occurred to me because, you know, he had a lot of plastic surgery and I don't blame him. Like a lot of women got the boob jobs. We got all of that shit going on, right? But Michael Jackson really, really distorted his face, but he distorted his face to get an otherworldly look. He also distorted his face in order to hide what they were doing to him. So just imagine this. Imagine if you look one way like Michael Jackson, let's say the Thriller video, because he's pretty normal. He just fixed his nose and whatever, for whatever reason. And remember, the nose attaches to the sexual organs. So when you have an issue with your nose, that's a sexual issue. That's a sexual issue. It hits the uterus, the ovaries, and the penis, okay? And the testicles. Anyway, it hits your junk down there, meaning this is attached to this down here. So remember that. This part of the body is that part. So he was trying to fix this to fix that, if that makes sense. So whatever part of the body people are fixing can tell you what kind of issues they have in their head, right? So anyway, what if somebody like Michael Jackson, okay? What if somebody like Michael Jackson, they were trying to transfer consciousness in and out of like one vessel into another vessel or clone it? What better way than to make him look like strange, right? What better way than to make him look very, very strange, okay? Just think about that for a second. So when we see people like who's got really messed up face, I can't even think of who has a messed up face because he had about the most messed up face. But when they come back on and they don't even look like themselves, why is that? And understand, yeah, Joan Rivers, exactly. She did a lot of plastic surgery too, which was interesting because she was okay looking. I mean, she wasn't the best looking. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, you know, you literally, I mean, yeah, Madonna does not look like herself. And what about Madonna's daughter? Okay. What about Madonna's daughter, Lourdes? What does she look like? She looks like a fucking stormtrooper. I saw her on a video. I was like, whoa, there's some TikTok of her coming in the room. And I was like, shit, Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester, yes, they say his nose fell off. I feel like they were moving his body into being a deity. And I'm not joking you. Remember, the deities don't care as they come in and out of bodies. And there are bits in Donatella Versace. What the hell happened to her? So the demons continue, and Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke was because of boxing, though, right? But anyway, what I was going to say to you is imagine if you had, entities around you coming in and coming out of your body. And what if they wanted to hide your true identity? This sounds weird. What if they wanted to hide your true identity, right? And so now she's looking herself on TV because in our house, we do everything. We'll shower and bath in public. We have no problem. So there's that. But what if they wanted to hide Michael Jackson's identity, okay, by covering who he really was? And the entity was doing this. Now, if you do a lot of facial plastic surgery, how do we really know it's you? What if they're like if you look at Biden, he doesn't look the same either. So I think that they encourage people to do plastic surgery in order to change the essence of their energy. I actually think it's part of either lowering their energy vibration or raising it, but giving a different appearance. And I'm not talking visually, I'm talking energetically. So I actually think that it has to do with that. That's actually what I really feel it has to do. On her face, not only the nose. Wait, Marilyn had a lot of surgery. Yeah, I don't have a clue. It's not that hi, Ashley. Oh my gosh, little Ashley. See, Biden is not the same. Biden's face does not look the same. And you can tell, like when people have had facelifts, what they do is they cut right here and they usually go like under this part of the ear, but you can usually see something. And remember, the reason people that have facelifts look like their faces are pulled is because they pull the hair back, meaning they cut this part out, they pull it up. So your hair no longer grows here if you cut and pull back, right? So your hairline goes back. I don't know if they've changed that, but I really believe, Biden, that's what I was saying with Biden. Biden doesn't look even the same shape. So there's something to be said with what they're hiding through the plastic surgery. And what I notice, and this is weird, there are a lot of women in the world. Okay, James Woods is playing Biden. All right, I got to look that up. I'm not saying that's not true. Yeah, it's not Biden. It's not with the face. You can kind of tell. And so with Michael Jackson, yes, that's what I'm saying. If you have a lot of shit done to your face, how do we know who that is? You could have anybody play anybody if they had a bunch of plastic surgery. I mean, like if they had a Michael Jackson face, think about it, where it was distorted or accidentally, because no plastic surgeon's operating on his nose that much. That's just not true. That's not true. I don't care what you say to me. Aw, thank you, Eric. Thank you so much for that. I know James Woods is Biden. I'm traumatized now. I'm like, ugh. But no, if you have something that messes up your face tremendously, like Michael Jackson did, why would a plastic surgeon operate on your nose when it was falling off? Because they would tell you no. Although, to admit it, I've been to a lot of plastic surgeons in Los Angeles. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you. I've been to a lot and I've asked a lot of questions. It's part of my hobby. I shop around from when I'm older, when I can do that. And so I shop around in order to find out what I can do and this and that. And you do get a multitude of crazy ass answers. Like you could say, well, Jennifer Grey just had a nose job. That's like, she still looks like herself, but with a straight nose. But I'm saying, imagine if you are Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson, and you have wrecked your nose for whatever reason, can they not hide an entity in that body? Because we don't know, because it doesn't even look like them. Thank you, Bobby, for that. Yeah, okay, Jennifer Grey, I'm 52 and I like my old face. Exactly, I'm 55 and I like my old face. Turning 56 this year and I've never touched my face. I used to get a lot of heckle emails from a former friend of mine that would be like, everybody thinks you had a nose job. I'm like, no, no one thinks that. You just think that, bitch. Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker just really, unfortunately, was born with a stick that hit her face. You know, the stick. I'm going to just call it the stick. Is what I'm going to call it. Yeah, so no, I wouldn't touch my face. My mom looked great. So you look like your family. And anyway, It doesn't matter. But I am asking you, if we have a thing in our country, like if you are ethnic, like Michael Jackson was, he didn't like the way he looked. And in Thriller, he looked okay. Like he looked normal, I guess, whatever. I'm talking about like Michael Jackson. He just looked normal. I think he'd only maybe had 1 or 2 nose jobs, etc. Did you know Barbara Eden had plastic surgery? She looks like me. I don't look like her. She looks like me. I'm younger, and it's a compliment, but she had plastic surgery early on in her career. And so she changed her face. If you look at the 1954, I Love Lucy. I know I've said this. I Love Lucy. Remember on Seinfeld, Lucy? Remember the guy that took the TV guide that Elaine gave him on the subway, and all the mannequins were in the shops? And then Elaine's like, why do these mannequins look like me? And it was that guy, because he would be like, Lucy's on this. I just channeled that guy for some reason. Anyway, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Anyway, in the 1954 episode of Lucy, I mention this all the time, Barbara Eden comes on as Ricky's niece. So she plays his niece from Cuba. Anyway, she comes on and she looks different. She had plastic surgery. She definitely had her nose done. And you know how you tell? Because their nose and ears do not grow as they age. Remember the guy on Seinfeld, Lucy? He's sitting there and he's reading the TV guide, and he shows up at George's house because the address is on there. Babaloo. Do you remember that? Yeah, I know stupid facts. But basically, we all look like our family. So the Jacksons kind of all look alike, right? But Michael looked perfectly fine. He just was taught that he didn't look good enough or like right enough or whatever, right? So, anyway, that was a problem for him, right? The cat is listening. She hears a horn outside. She hears there's a car honking out there. Go get it, Mew. Go get it. Go get it. Go see who it is. Yes. So yeah, I like doing makeup. Makeup's a thing I like doing. I don't know that I could do it on others, but I like doing makeup. But when you recognize with Michael Jackson, they were going for something else there. They were trying to shift his consciousness into a different entity. It wasn't just about plastic surgery with Michael Jackson. They literally were shifting him and into something, and they couldn't quite get there, and that's what happened. They're honking for Canada. Exactly. It's outside in California. But look good. Yeah, he did look good before all the surgery. He did look good. But what I'm saying, at the end of his life, now keep in mind, he ushered in everything. He ushered in masks. He ushered in all kinds of things, completely all kinds of things. Where I feel sorry for Michael Jackson is he has no awareness as baby Michael Jackson to the energy that was in his body and the different personalities, which are different alters, which are different entities that came in to his person. So the child molester part of him isn't even him. That's where we make a huge mistake. That's where Joe Jackson and the wife. Why you let your husband do that shit without killing him? Why? I don't understand. Yeah, they all do it. Not as extreme, but they do. But they literally were changing themselves in to the idea of an entity that they wanted to worship. That's what I'm trying to say. And if there is such a thing as cloning a consciousness, now remember, you can clone. Bill Clinton said it in the 90s. Bill Clinton talked about doing regulations for cloning centers, one of them being Clonate in Canada, but he talked about it, saying they clone dogs and that we had to make laws so that morally it wouldn't become an issue with cloning kids. Here's the problem with cloning. I'm not opposed to cloning. Clone anything you want. It doesn't have a soul essence that comes from God. It is man-made. It is not God-made. That's why you cannot clone. You can't clone fox eyes. You can't clone that shit. That is man-made. A person with real fox eyes is going to look entirely different than somebody who's born with that, right? So, thank you, Carrie. Thank you all. So you can't do that. So thank you all for the super chats, you guys. So where does the cloned dog cat, entity, person, whatever, flower, sheep, Dolly the sheep. Remember Dolly the sheep in 86, 87, wherever? There is no essence of God within the context of that clone. So you can clone things, but what are they? Because they're not of God. They are man-made structures. They are man-made things, okay, whatever. But where's the God source within the context of a cloned sheep, a clone, and a cloned person, a clone, whatever? You can't. You cannot command a soul to come into a disincarnate vessel. There is no soul. So what is it that is orchestrating those? And can they control it? Okay. Can they control it? So is it a robot or is it a entity that the cloning people are producing, or are the cloning people creating vessels? Okay. So vessels with your DNA, where the vessel is then spirit cooked, as in an entity is brought in from across to the other side and brought into the vessel. So is that actually what's going on? So robotic vessel, exactly. Is that's what's going on. So when you look at these people, they look entirely different. They look very different. They are not of soul, as in of God. They are not of Christ consciousness, God's source. So what are they, and what is being called into them? So they may look and talk like us. Like you can duplicate a Louis Vuitton handbag, but with the right eye and with knowledge of the real handbag, you know what the stitching looks like, you know what it looks like. So they have knockoffs of everything, but you don't want to get a knockoff at Christmas. You want the real thing, right? So they don't have the essence. And see the difference between disincarnate vessels, or robotic, or cloned, or energetic empty vehicles, is they do not have the creative life force. Understand, as the God source, we have the creative capacity to bring about powerful change in so many different ways. We can think creatively. We can create through our portals, children, meaning we are vessels, we are portals from the other side, the veil, the other dimensions into this dimension. So when you clone something, now imagine if you had a child died. I don't have to imagine, I know. But imagine, oh my gosh, Tracy, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Overly generous, Tracy. Again, Tracy, email me your address. Because if I have to get Bobby the PI to find your address so that we can send you something, I'm going to be mad. Send it to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But ask yourself, okay? Thank you for the super chats. Thank you so much. If Bobby, we have to track Tracy's number down so we can send her something. We have to find it if she's not going to give it up. I'll be Sloan the stalker. I'm not opposed to stalking, really. I'm not. But depends. I'm not just going to stalk you for no reason. But anyway, if you imagine having a child that dies and cloning that child with their DNA, that child is still not going to be your child, even if they look like your child and are your child, because what makes them your child is not the physical, it's the essence of the spiritual. So we make a huge mistake, okay? We make a huge mistake. See, Bobby's going to find you, Tracy. I'm sicking Bobby on you. Oh my God. So it's not, you don't have your child. So because you have a deceased child and you would try to make the DNA and make it look the same, they may come out physically looking the same, but what lives in them? So the essence of your child is not there. So what is in them and what are they conjuring up? And believe me when I tell you they conjure up things, okay? Yes, exactly. They definitely conjure up things. I don't believe, when will I have my first child? I hope very soon. Keep trying. What do they do when they conjure up things? What are they bringing in? Understand the essence of spirit cooking. Spirit cooking just means compiling a bunch of human data, DNA, human data, okay? blood, skin tissue, bathroom matter, sperm, whatever, okay? A compilation of human byproduct. So stuff, hair, fingernail clippings, all of this, and putting it into a holder, could be a pot holder, could be a Buddha statue, could be a garbage bin, could be whatever, okay? And then conjuring up an entity. The problem with this world is people don't actually believe that can happen, okay? People do not. I believe Christopher Reeves was not himself. He never looked like a person to me after his accident. He never felt like the same person. Yep, Gollum, exactly. Oh, you're saying Quinn. I'm like, I thought you said Gollum. That's how much I can't read. But spirit cooking is some evil. Well, it is, but understand a lot of people do it. They conjure up all kinds of things. They cast souls on their way out, okay? So they catch lost souls. They catch them. They lock them up. Just ask yourself this, the context, and people don't believe this. People do not believe this. They literally think there's what's here on earth and what's we're told is in heaven, whatever the heck that might be, right? So we don't know what that is, okay? We don't know, exactly what that is. Walk-ins. I mean, look at Pete Burns from Dead or Alive. Sad. Yeah. I mean, but we don't know, but they trap souls. So it's very important you understand that that's what's going on right now. The more drugs you use, I know I'm going to harp on this like some kind of crazy bitch. The more drugs you use, the more you leave yourself open energetically to have something attach itself to you. If you are around somebody that's on massive drugs, whatever drugs, heroin, homeless person, and understand entities, beings, aliens, whoever, call them whatever the fuck you want, right? When you understand, when you walk by them and they see your light, your shininess, you're like shiny sugar cookies to them, okay? You're like shiny, shiny sugar cookies. So when you're a shiny, shiny sugar cookie, they're like, ooh, yummy, sugar cookie. And they come and they attach to you because they can hide behind you. So they can do a lot of things. The reason you know that you have an entity attached to you, let's say you don't know this, right? For whatever reason. First, here's some signs of it. They will try to get into your family unit, cause problems in your marriage. They do not like family. They don't like the combined energy of mother, father, children. Okay, that's why there's so many single parents in this world. And that's why there's so many divorces. The entities come in, and it would help if people were sober in their marriage. Not shouting out to anybody, just saying it would help if you, stayed sober and you didn't conduct yourself within a marriage through, violence, drug addiction, crack cocaine, alcoholism. That would fucking help you. But let's just put those people to the side because it's more the norm now than not. But let's go way back in time. Anytime you have a negative, dark entity or energy around you, they want to cause you family problems. So they will come into your family. They will corrupt. It's about corruption. So it is about the corruption of the family. So they might give your kids drugs, meaning your kids will, start doing drugs. They may have somebody start to be a gambler. They may have a husband cheat. They may have a wife cheat. They may have, money break up. Like you may go cuss your business out, right? They love corruption and they love chaos. If there's a lot of that around your family, then ask yourself, what did you do to call it in? So maybe you didn't do anything, but you're not cleaning yourself, okay? So you have to learn how to do that. And the only way I know to truly clean yourself, I used to throw my kids into salt baths. They had crystals in their little backpacks. They had crystals on them. I anointed them with oil. I pray to God for them. I did everything, okay, that you could do. Understand there are other energies of people around your family that are invested in corrupting your family. And this is something that is energetically corrosive, okay? So it's corrosive. And if it's corrosive, you have to look for other things around you. Are you losing money? Are you depressed more? Do you have chronic anxiety? Are you able to sleep? Are you having bad thoughts? Are you wanting to be unfaithful? Are you wanting to drink every night? pop pills and do whatever else, shoot up, whatever? Are you wanting to do that? Are you unsettled around you? We are not supposed to be that way. We are not supposed to be that way. So what or who has come into your life? They send people in your life. Understand that. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. They send people into your life to corrupt your soul, to corrupt the soul's center with the Christ consciousness. They send them in. That's what this is all about publicly. All of this nonsense that is going on publicly is about corrupting our sense of self and our true power. All right. So the true power that a human being has that cannot be cloned. You cannot clone the strength of a human being because we are spiritual beings who come into a physical body, not the other way around. You can clone and have people look the same genetically, but what lives in them? What is in them? Okay. Now, a walk-in is very interesting. Let's talk about walk-ins. I used to love this term when I first started out doing readings because people would come to me and they're like, I'm a walk-in. And I'm like, oh God, what the hell is that? Okay. So I'd be like 17, like, what the hell are you talking about? They'd be like, I'm a walk-in. And I'm like, I'm just walking out. I'm a walk out. Goodbye. I'm a walk out. Peace out. I'm leaving on a high note. Bye. But anyway, a walk-in can come in two different ways. I'm going to give you the way that makes a lot of sense to me that I notice quite a bit. So for example, if you are going through your life and you are maybe suicidal, let's say you're a young girl and you've come from sexual abuse and you're going into a bar and you're just going to fuck the first guy that buys you a drink and dinner because who cares, right? So you're like, I'm 20, I don't care. I'm 15, I don't care, right? But let's say the guy that's talking to you is, yeah, I'm going to walk out. I'm about to walk out. Peace. But let's say the guy that's talking to you at the bar is like some kind of serial killer, but you don't know it. He's a nice guy. He's really cute. He looks like, what's his name? Oh, you know who I mean. Ted Bundy. He's super cute. He's charming. He's blah, blah, blahing you. You're a young girl and you're like, oh my God, he's so cute. He's talking to me. I was abused. This man's nice. He wants me to come home, right? Okay, so your guides know that this guy is a bad person. Okay, so he's a bad person. So your guides are like, we don't want you to get murdered by this piece of shit. It's not your karma or it's not your balance. Okay, I prefer to use the word balance. So a walk-in can happen when either the demonic serial killer stops for a second and tells on himself. Okay, so a good energy comes in through his voice temporarily and speaks to you in a way that makes you know you're in danger. Or a bartender can come up and say something so jarring to your sense of self that you get up and leave. So that's one way of saying a walk-in, and we can use that in both ways. It can be negative to threaten you. You could be talking to a really nice guy at a bar and then have an evil entity step into him and he says something fucking crazy to you and you're like, whoa, I'm back. I'm out of here. Peace out. So they will often do messages that way. They will do messages through like, it's your angels, it's guides, it's whatever, right? So that's one form of walk-in. The other form of walk-in, and the example they must be hunting for you. Whatever. I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do to me at this point? You have to be fearless, actually. Once you've been tortured on earth and you just need to be fearless. You need to understand that whatever people say they're going to do, so go ahead and do it. I'm not going to stop being me because you tell me you're going to kill me or threaten me. Go ahead and do it. Why would I ever do that? That would be weak. Okay, so let me see, Sloan. Yeah, it is hard to regulate it's hard to navigate in regular life. The other kind of walk-in, and I don't quite know how this works, but I'll use again, Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty. I'm always going to use Warren Beatty. The movie was out way before that, like in 1924, and then it was in the 70s with Julie Christie, Diane Cannon, and it was made into a comedy because it was real, but Warren Beatty is driving through the tunnel on his bike with his saxophone. Car hits him. His angel takes him out because they do take you out. That's very truthful. Before you die, okay, the people that are in pain after accidents are the ones that land on the ground. and are not taken over. They land on the ground and they have to come back into this world. That's where the pain happens. If you're going to die, they pull you out of your body before impact, before that, because you're going to die anyway. So the soul is always removed, even in the case of Keith. Even if you think he's in his body, he's around his body, but he's not in his body, okay? So heaven can wait, exactly. So Warren Beatty's character is taken out of his body by a new angel, okay? A new angel that doesn't know whatever. And little Warren Beatty's body is cremated. So obviously God says in the movie, dude, you're not supposed to be up here. Why the hell are you supposed to be? Why are you here? And then the angel goes, I took him out because the car was going to hit him. And then God said, why didn't you wait for it to make contact and then pull him out right then, right? Anyway, he wasn't supposed to die. Long story short, one of his football buddies, person on another team, has a heart attack, goes down or whatever, hits his body, goes down, and they put Warren Beatty's soul into his body. Now, I don't know what happens to the guy that hits the ground's body. I don't know if it's his time of death. I don't know what it is because they erase the memory. Remember in the movie, Warren Beatty's playing his saxophone and he's talking to his manager and he's like, I'm him, I'm him. And then his memory is erased. So I guess he would live his life out in the vessel of person A with the soul of person B. There must be many different caveats to that as they recycle us in and out on this planet. Okay, so we have exit points like a milk carton, we have expirations. So they recycle. That's another way of walk-ins. And then there's a third way of walk-ins, which was very intentional and very purposeful. And it's called Heaven Can Wait. Warren Beatty, 1976, 78, whatever, Diane Cannon, Julie Christie, and it's done as a comedy, okay? It's a comedy. However, it's actually speaking truth as usual. And then there's a regular show in the original show, 1924. So I feel like it's, gone on down through the line. Anyhow, there's a third kind of walk-in that I'm aware of, and that is when people choose. So let's look at high evolved beings like government mind fuckers, okay, mental terrorists in the government that know how to use the astral level. And they know how to get in to people's physicals without the people knowing. That's why y'all got to be careful. Do you take hypnotic drugs? Do you take Ambien? What do you take? What do you take? Oxycontin, what are you taking? So they come into your body and they purposely project themselves into your energy field. And that can be two people in one body, which sounds really weird because you might not recognize it unless you look at the person and the outer shape of them can change because you can change. So they will jump in and jump out. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Overly generous, y'all. But thank you so much for that. When you look at the different levels of jumping in and out of bodies, then you will understand it. So let's look at it in a different way. There's a different way. There's a fourth way, and that is during the act of sex. Two people having sex, if one of them is more of a warlock mindset or a magician mindset, they can actually get into your energy field and maneuver your physical body with thoughts that are not your own. That's like a very kind of cousin to a walk-in. Okay, so there is that. And there are all kinds of things. Angels, devils, demons, entities, aliens, they can jump in temporarily and jump out. Especially remember, when God needs to get a message across, he can hijack a human and put the message through the human. So that's also another way of walking in. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Christy, I can't even read it. Anyhow, these are different ways of walk-ins. And some people are literally walking in from another planet, okay? So like they are aliens, two souls be in one body. Yes, they can. Yes, they can live within tandem, within context. Yes, they can. We just assume that what we see is what we get. So like this is a book. So this book This is a book. So that's all it is. Is that all it is? Is that all it is? Right? I don't know. Is that, I don't know. So I'm going to go no with Warren Beatty. He's super handsome. I've had that. Yes, you call it possession. Yes, but there's also, God will put his message through people who will speak when you need to hear it. Okay. So God will use people as his vessel on earth. They do. You know, the message comes out of people's mouths. A God message will come out of people's mouths. And that is because he is trying to navigate things in order to elevate the human race away from what's going on, which is 100% a spiritual war. So no matter what anybody says to you, this is a spiritual war. It's not always possession, okay? It's not always possession. You can tell possessions. I used to know when these other bitches in the psychic stores were throwing shit at me because I would come home and my windowsills would be lined with flies. Or like on the day Keith died, I got stung by wasps. So I know when people are throwing shitty energy at me, I absolutely understand that. So they can do that too. They can do whatever they want. We are not well versed in what they do on an occult level in order to get what they need to have done, which means the government, when they need to spy, the yeah, she's so cute. She's sitting over there just doing what she does. When the government needs to find stuff, they do remote viewing. They spy on us. And don't think for 1 second that random people aren't just coming in through the astral. That's why when you get the consciousness of somebody like Jimi Hendrix that I used to channel when I was younger, okay? When I used to channel, meaning I saw him and did not know who he was, he went to a lot of different people. This is because his energy could translate through the veil because he was not gone on completely. And so, no, that's not random shit. They do all kinds of stuff. And they will send things and people into your family. Remember this. Oh, Kitty got fixed. I know. Little Lulu got fixed too. Yeah, I feel really bad about it because I think she still wants a boyfriend. And here I am, you know, ruining shit like that. I'm ruining shit down there. Terrible. But anyway, when you're looking at the energy around and what's around you right now, understand that nothing that you see is going on. They are hidden behind the energies of others too. And it's not really a walk-in, but they can hide behind our energy field. So it's like they're shadowing us in a door, and they can do that. But if you are being attacked on a spiritual level, here's a couple of ways it happens. If you are promiscuous, do not be promiscuous. I mean, I'm not saying it's not fun, but if you're promiscuous, you are, Lulu want to put a ring on it, exactly. If you are promiscuous, you are allowing energies to open your body up. You are losing your life force. You are literally losing your life force through the act of sex, okay? That's one way. Number two, if you're out doing drugs, they have a whole country on weed. They have the whole country on weed, alcohol, and Oxycontin. Why is that? Why is that so important? I mean, I live sober and there's nothing wrong with it. I seem to be just as happy as you people on all your drugs, only I remember what I'm doing, okay? Methamphetamine is a portal doorway, open big time. And they do this on purpose. It's a way of controlling it's control, and it's government control. And the government knows what they're doing. If they see a very strong, powerful person in society, whomever it may be, what they do is they lure things in front of them. I'm going to give this kid drugs. That'll calm that one down. They won't speak out. So your strength is in your power and your connection to source, because it outweighs anything on this planet, okay? Anything. So I'm always curious when the government makes something legal. I'm like, yeah, they want to kill us. They put all kinds of things in it, but they also know how to move through the astral levels. They can come and spy on you. They can spy on me in my sleep. They can come in and spy on me. They can do that as much as they want to do it. Now, I was having a conversation today with one of my young friends, not going to mention his name, but anyway, one of my young friends, and he was jumping timelines. So he was wondering why he was doing it. Well, he didn't want to stay in this energy, right? So the timeline, he's jumping ever so slightly. So like in one timeline, you're energetically here, and then you're here, and then you're here, and your perspective changes. The government, and I'm being serious when I use the word the government, the people who control this planet, okay? It may not be Biden, it may not be Cuomo, it may not be whoever, but the people who control the complete entire essence of this planet. So we are all wanting to, quote, ascend. And ascension has to do with the perception, okay, the perception visually, emotionally, mentally, and physically of where we are. So it's the perception of where we are at this point. What do we see? What is in front of us? So if you perceive yourself and you perceive yourself in the desert and you think I'm in the desert and that's where I am and that's where I live and that's the only place I live, then that's your perception, right? If you're in an abused home, then that's your perception. If you're a little kid in Haiti, then that's your perception. The government does not want us ascending out of this perception to see the reality because we are in a spiritual war. So if you and me and them and her and him and all of us, if we understand that we are in this war and we are fighting in order to free ourselves, which is what it is. And I'm not talking the mundane and the world going into Ralph's, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm literally talking on a soul level. So if you're trying to ascend energetically, you have to perceive things differently, which means you cannot get caught up in fear, gossip, whatever it is that pulls you down like this, pulls you down. You have to ascend with your perception. So, and it's interesting you mentioned frequency. The government is constantly running frequencies coming through our house, frequencies coming through our equipment, frequencies coming through noises and all kinds of things that we hear. These are different kinds of frequencies. And so the government is doing this. This is a frequency thing. Once they get you on a frequency, just think about this. Think about electric egg beaters, not egg beaters. When you're making whipped cream, beaters, okay? So you have a frequency. You have 500 watt, 1,000 watt, 3,200 watts. Each one goes at a different frequency. Really slow and then like this, okay? Like a professional commercial egg beater thing or flour beater thing, whatever it is. That frequency is a lot quicker. And as a result, it gets more of a job done. So our job is to actually get out of this timeline that we're in with this nonsense where they're pitting the right against the left and vote and, people who have injections and people who don't and people who whatever and other people who don't. That's the distraction. We are in the midst of a spiritual war. And within the next I keep getting a 3 cycle, but within the next 3 days, I feel like they're planning something against us that we're going to hear about. So as I was discussing with my young friend and his family, the timeline shift for him because he doesn't want to be here and he's doing it automatically. So once you shift, which is what they call quantum jumping, but let's look at it in a different way. Instead of wanting something, manifesting it by quantum jumping, okay? So instead of going, I want a house and money and a girl and 6 babies and whatever, right? Instead of doing that, look at it as I want to express myself as authentically as I can from the Christ consciousness, okay? Connected to God. I want to do that in all my strength and all my power. So if you start to say that before the meditation, then as you come back out of the meditation into this environment, the way that this environment affects you and the perception should be different. It should be slightly altered with each time that you do this, rather than thinking of material things or girlfriend, boyfriend things, or drug things, or pimped out things, or whatever the hell it is you're thinking of. Start thinking about how to bring your authentic strength and self. Once you do that, it's a given that you're going to manifest what you want anyway because you're in your strongest power, and confidence and power is what moves forward. So meditate over here, quantum jump, meditate, use a meditation that's relevant to that. Quantum jump to your most authentic, highest self in connection to God, Christ consciousness, and ask to be your strongest sense of self, to vibrate. So when you come back here and you hear them blathering on the news, you'll be like, yeah, that doesn't make sense, because you will now be able to see it, and it will be harder for you to connect to that because it doesn't make sense to you anymore. It does not feel right. Thank you for that. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. It doesn't feel right to you. So you're like, that doesn't make sense to me, because you're connecting up here. Your power is 70 times stronger than their power. But this is a spiritual war. Make no mistake about it. This is not about money. This is not about the White House. This is not a political thing. This is literally God versus the devil. God versus the beast system. It's not just the one devil, it's the beast system. And you would be surprised who shows up. You would be surprised at who is in the beast system. You would be surprised. You would be surprised in your own family who connects up in a different way. You would be very, very surprised. Okay, so keep that in mind. It is most certainly a spiritual war, without doubt. And they want us to feel broken, distracted, sidetracked with stupid shit. And I admit it, I've fallen prey my whole life. I'm not good enough. I'm not cute enough. I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm a, bad mom. I gave them Pop-Tarts, whatever. Okay, like whatever it is. But the truth is, it's always been a spiritual war, and they try to corrupt. So they want to take control of our strength. We are far stronger than they ever dreamt of being. And I'm not joking you when I say that. These people playing these these mind games have no power at all. No strength, no power, no ability, no nothing. They are like the Wizard of Oz playing from behind the curtain with no ability. Once you know that, you know that. And once you know that, you will not succumb to any kind of compliance or belief in what they do. It just will not work for you. You will be able to see. Once you are able to see, you are able to express your strength. Once you can do it, then I can do it, then she can do it. Okay, because our energy connects to the same vibration. It's about vibration. Most of the world connects to the lowest vibration. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. I love rock and roll. But anyway, sex, drugs, rock and roll, work 40 hours a week, keep working to do this. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much for that. Work to do this, keep working, never take a break. Don't raise your family, shove your kids in daycare, make sure they're vaccinated, put them in the schools, which, by the way, are spouting things that the teachers union wants. I don't know. Maybe these teachers have some things wrong. Maybe these teachers have some things wrong. Maybe what they're teaching isn't what it's cracked up to be, because it is about our strength and power. So they want us to connect down here. Go vote. Go do this. Fight your neighbors. Fight down here. Once you practice meditating, find a quick 10-minute quantum jump meditation, one that resonates with you. Try it for 10 minutes. Do it every 3 weeks and see if you don't come out seeing things differently, because you will align yourself with what is correct. And once there's 10 of us, we'll multiply into 100. We'll multiply into 1,000. We'll multiply into 1,000,000. It will continue to grow like this, and we will continue to really develop as human beings with our strength and power, the strongest in the universe, by the way. Stronger. We are here. We are in a physical vessel, okay? We are in a physical vessel. We have strength. We have God's source working through us and strength in a physical. So never be afraid, because that immediately puts it down. Not to mention all of the cell phones, all of the electrics in the house, all of the microwaves, the way the cars are. And I really feel when they're taking us out of using vehicles with gas into vehicles with electricity, there's a reason for that too. I know it runs better, I get that, but I literally feel there's a reason for that. Okay, hi Ashley, Ashley number 2 on here. I really feel there's a reason for that. There's a reason that they're pushing electrical stuff, and it's in order to get inside of our frequency. And I really feel that. So there's several things going on. And when you understand that frequency and vibration, for example, if I come into your house and I'm like, hi, how are you? Then you're like, oh my God, she's fun. If I come into your house and I'm like, hey, and I drag in like Mopey, Mopey Molly, and I'm coming in and I'm like, then you automatically are going to try to match because we are healers by nature. So we try to match what's around us, okay? We try to. So remember that in order to actually timeline jump, you have to let go of being afraid and elevate yourself up. That's what the old celebrity magazines were, as a way of dumbing us down, forcing us to focus on people that were false idols. These are just fucking people. Okay, they're fucking people. Who cares if they won an Emmy, an Oscar, a Grammy? It doesn't matter. Big fucking deal. All that tells me is that you bent over and took it up the ass. That's all it tells me. So you are not better than anyone, but they trained us to do this in order to keep us distracted. So we all got on the hamster wheel. I want 2 houses. I want a vacation. I want to marry a handsome man. I want to have 5 kids. I want to have 3 cars. I want to travel to Europe. I want to do this. It's all about money, money, money. Focus, distract, distract. If you center yourself with your source, God, okay, if you center with that, then you're not going to be distracted by this because this stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. So it is a distraction. They get you on the news like these people talk. Hi, I'm whoever, and I'm an authority. Who died and made you an authority? I don't understand that. So stop buying into that. Stop buying into that. And when you speak to them about what you disagree, say, this doesn't work for me. You have every right to say that this doesn't work for you. It does not work for you. Okay. And you don't have to do it. You're not obligated to do anything for anybody on this planet. You are obligated morally to live the life that you feel comfortable with in order for you to ascend out of this very temporary position that you're in. That is all you're obligated to do. You are allowed to do what you want to do in this life, but there's always consequences for your actions. So you have to watch what you align yourself with. And in order to keep your energy clean, I say crystals always, you know this, I say that, but cleansing baths, praying to God every day, praying to God. That's what you do. You pray to God. They will throw entities at you. They will constantly attack you when you're not like them. So if you're not, just like in high school, and all these parents are like, oh my God, don't do drugs, don't do cocaine, don't smoke weed, don't drink, but they're going to take a vaccine. What do you think your fucking kids think of you? Just because your government says in order to get a paycheck, you need to jab yourself? So when your kid snorts coke because the kid at school is a bully and is going to punch them out, they're not going to have any friends, don't be fucking surprised because you did not teach them strength. You taught them weakness. You taught them shallowness. You taught them not to think for themselves. If they choose to think for themselves and they choose that decision, that's fine for anybody. But that's not what's going on. And all these kids are saying, oh my God, you don't want your kids doing drugs. I've got news for you. The government will put drugs in the face of your children in order to corrupt your family because drugs is a gateway. Drugs is the devil. It's part of the beast system. Never think it's okay to do drugs, even if it's a little bit and you overdose. And that's another thing. You may do a lot of cocaine and nothing happens to you. You may do a lot of cocaine and you drop dead. They may do it for 3 years. This one may do it for 50 years. The 50 years doesn't have a problem. The 3 years drops dead, or the kid of the 3 years. Remember that. The energy translates on down. So you really have to raise your vibration and stand in your strength. Standing in your strength is about accepting that you have an opinion the way it is, and your opinion counts just as much as my opinion, just as much as their opinion. So just because somebody says everybody's doing that, well, like my mother would say, is everybody fucking jumping off the bridge? Because apparently they're sticking shit in their arms. I choose not to. So you can't teach others strength until you stand through your own actions of strength. And that's a spiritual strength I'm talking about. If you spiritually connect to the Christ consciousness and you pray, you will stand in strength in your day-to-day life. And that's actually how you will defeat negative entities thrown at you. Also keeping your body clean. No sleeping with a bunch of different partners. No putting things like Taco Bell in your body, even if you have PMS and it's yummy and you want it. No doing that shit because it opens your body up. No meth. I mean, this should be a no-brainer. But somehow people get addicted to meth. It's like, who's the first person that decided meth being made with Drano is a good thing to snort up your nose. Also, understand right now, and I'm going to say this because soon I know my door is going to get knocked on. Um, the way that I would word it with drugs, okay? Oh, I got 5 minutes. I just got my text. 5 minutes to my dinner comes. Anyway, yeah. No, I don't eat Taco Bell. No, I would never eat Taco Bell. Please still wait. Can I still? No, you can't take heroin. Prescription drugs are the same. Obviously, if you need ampicillin for your teeth for whatever, if you need penicillin for gonorrhea, whatever, those are all, I mean, you should actually take medicine to cure up your body. I'm not saying medicine is bad. If you get run over by a truck, fall off a chairlift, and you need morphine, then you need morphine. I'm talking about the hundreds of thousands of people, millions, who go out and do drugs just for the fuck of it and they don't need it. We are taught to do that. And I'm going to say this again. I really truly believe drug addiction on this planet is all about childhood trauma. I do not believe that drug addiction travels genetically, DNA wise, through families. I believe it travels energetically through behaviors through families that are not dealt with, and the trauma is combined and compelled and then passed on down to the next generation. So pharmaceutical drugs are full of fillers and all kinds of things. So you have to remember that in order to kick an addiction, kick your trauma, speak your trauma, speak your trauma. Open up a TikTok, open up a Twitter, open up a Facebook, start talking about your trauma. It's not yours to carry. That's why you're doing it to yourself. And they want us to do it. That's why they talk about shame. As if that's why family comes in and goes, don't talk about sexual abuse. Don't talk about these things. Don't talk about the drug addiction in the family. Don't talk about the death of the kids in the family due to the drug overdoses. Shh, family secret. Bullshit. The secret keeps you sick. Speak. Okay, once you speak, you get your power back. Once you learn to speak about your trauma, then you get your power back. Then you don't need their drugs because you are standing in your power. So what if you were sexually abused? It's traumatic, but so what? What does that say anything about you? Because to me, it says more about the person that did it to you. It says more about fucking them. If somebody in your family died of a drug overdose, understand that they made a choice to take the drug and it took them out. And that's what the government wants. Once you know that, stop playing into their hands because your strength will come from not doing what they want you to do. Period. I mean, it's just that simple. It's not a brain disorder. That's an earthbound thing. Oh my God, it hands on down through family, just like your blue eyes or your brown eyes or your, fang teeth or whatever. All of that kind of shit, bullshit. Okay, let me see. I enjoy. Aw, thank you, Tim. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. It's understand that when we are on this planet, we need to pray. We need to align ourselves properly because we are the protectors of the human race, unless there's some robotoids on here, some demons, some aliens. I'm not talking to you all. I'm talking about human beings. Okay. So when you understand that they're taking out the rest of the human race, look who procreates. The strong men in our society have children, right? They have sex, they have children. So what are they doing to men of all ages? They are bringing in fentanyl, which is like a nuclear bomb of a drug because it's 70 times as powerful as anything that any dumbass human decided to smoke, snort, or ingest. And they're lacing it in everything. Make sure you pass that message along. There are people that won't believe it, but pass that message along because that's how they're getting to the next generation. They are trying to kill us every way possible. That is another depopulation agenda. That's what it is. And they are trying to kill especially young men. Take some fentanyl. I'm going to deal some fentanyl. Be very fucking careful when you deal drugs like that. Yes, I know, Teresa. So be very careful with that and pray, reject it. Fuck you and your fentanyl. Fuck you and your weed. Fuck you. Do that. Get rid of it. Push it out. No, I don't need that. I mean, do you think the person who's a drug addict is any happier than you are, that you should be taking drugs to be as miserable as that? First of all, it ruins their appearance. It ruins their energy strength. It ruins their family. It fucks their children up. It sets into motion generations of energetic sabotage. It's not a brain defect. It's an energy defect through the trauma. That's what it is. You don't need it. So stand up. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, they are soy boys, like Tradoofus. Exactly. It ruins your body. It ruins your mind. It does all kinds of things. It is. They're trying to kill your soul. So just remember that. Remember, every time you take something to tune out, they want to kill your soul. We should not have AA and all of these things. It should be a given that that's the way. When I go to a party and they're like, you don't drink? Yeah, that's right. I don't drink. You don't do anything? They act like I'm the weirdo. No, you're the weirdo that you can't come to a party with people that you say you like and you have to get fucked up at the party. What's wrong with you? Not me. What's wrong with you that you can't hang around people without getting out of your mind? There's something wrong with you. So explore that, because it comes from a trauma, because you can't see yourself and therefore you can't see others. So you can't see your own strength. That's my point, right? That's my point. So there's something wrong with there's something wrong with their decision to tune out. Okay, I tried to get it out real quick because my dinner friend is coming for dinner. My dinner friend is coming for dinner, taking me to dinner. Okay, you guys. All right, so that's my quick video for tonight, and I've got to run. And thank you so much. Keeping your strength and power. I do the power to the people, but I'm just not going to do that. Also, check that you are subscribed to my channel, because YouTube wrote in there that they're going to be taking a lot of subscribers off because, of course, they're bots. I can barely get up to 120, and now I just got to 119, and now they're saying, don't be surprised if your channel goes down in numbers. So I'm asking y'all to try it again, okay? That's what I'm asking y'all to do. Okay, peace out. Mwah. I am forever grateful for there you go. You know I wanted to do it. I am forever grateful. Try the quantum jump meditation to move you into a powerful alignment with source, your source, God's source, Christ consciousness. Try it for that, because that will allow you the power to move through this world in the way that you need to. Okay, peace out, everybody. Mew Mew says good night. She's already asleep. That means she's going to be harassing me tonight when I come back. Okay, bye, you guys. Mwah. Bye. Thank you so much, you guys.